Hello friends, in this module we will be going to study properties of pure substances. See students, this chapter is very important chapter of thermal science. Basically the concepts we are going to study in thermal science or in this chapter are very useful in your vapor power cycles as well as your refrigerations. Fine. So let us understand what do we mean by pure substances. See, pure substances are nothing but substances with uniform chemical composition. Fine. Now the example is air. Now consider let this be a container filled with air. Now consider a small pocket here. Now here there is 80% nitrogen and 20% oxygen. Similarly, if we consider another pocket, again 80% nitrogen and 20% oxygen. So we see that throughout the space of this container, the chemical composition of air is remaining constant. So we can say that air is a pure substance. Fine. Now see second thing. The second thing is that the pure substance can be made up of one element or more than one element. Similarly, it can be made up of one compound or more than one compound. See here we have nitrogen as well as oxygen. So we have different elements, but the chemical composition throughout the container is same. That is 80% nitrogen and 20% oxygen. So the most important criteria of pure substances is that it should have uniform chemical composition, but it may have more than one element or compound. So it may constitute of more than one element or compound. Fine. Now the third thing is that it may exist in more than one phase. It may exist in more than one phase. See how? Let this be a container. Here we have solid ice and here we have liquid H2O. Now see, consider a pocket here. The chemical composition is again H2O, and consider a pocket here. The chemical composition is H2O. So we have uniform chemical composition irrespective of the phase. So we can see that in a pure substance there may exist more than one phase. Fine. Now see students, the next topic here is temperature versus specific volume diagrams. Fine. Now let us understand it with an example. Suppose this piston cylinder arrangement contains water at 20 degrees Celsius. So the temperature here is 20 degrees Celsius. Now if this piston is in equilibrium, then there is some upward force due to atmospheric pressure. In order to maintain the equilibrium of this piston, there should be some opposite pressure acting on the piston. Let the pressure be 1 bar. So here pressure becomes 1 bar. Fine. Now if I give heat to this system, this piston cylinder arrangement, what will happen? See, when I give heat to the system, its temperature will increase and its specific volume will also increase. So let us consider a state 2 where the temperature comes out to be 100 degrees Celsius. Now again the piston, on the upper side of piston there is atmospheric pressure. And obviously to maintain the static equilibrium of this piston, there should be an equal and opposite pressure. So here again the pressure is 1 bar and the state of the system is liquid H2O. The state of the system is liquid H2O. Now when I further heat this system, what will happen? The liquid H2O will absorb latent heat of vaporization, and when there is latent heat exchange, there is phase change. So liquid water will convert into your vapor state at 100 degrees Celsius. So here the state is that of vapors, fine, or we can say it as gaseous state. We can say it as gaseous state, and we know that phase change process is a constant temperature process. So here the temperature remains 100 degrees Celsius and the pressure is again 1 bar. Now further heating our system, when our state is of vapor state, what will happen? Again the temperature will increase. Let the new temperature be 200 degrees Celsius and the pressure remains constant 1 bar. So this state is known as your superheated vapors. This state is known as your superheated vapors. Now I need to plot this process on a TV diagram. See, this is our temperature axis, this is our specific volume. Now at state 1 the temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. Let this be the temperature at state 1, fine, and let the specific volume be V1 at state 1. So this is our point 1. Now when I heat our piston cylinder arrangement, what will happen? The temperature will increase. The temperature will increase, moreover the specific volume will also increase. So we are moving in this direction. When we move in this direction, our specific volume is also increasing and our temperature is also increasing. And here we come at point 2. Here we come at point 2, and corresponding to point 2 the temperature is your 100 degrees Celsius. The temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. Now we have reached state 2. Now next we provide heat to it. What will happen? There will be a latent heat exchange or there will be a phase change, and we know that this process is a constant temperature process. So at point 2 there was liquid and this liquid is getting converted into vapors at point 3, fine. Now when we have reached our state 3, now again I give heat to it. What will happen? The temperature of vapors will rise and such vapors are known as your superheated vapors. So again this is the process 3 to 4, and here we have seen that the pressure is 1 bar, the pressure is 1 bar, the pressure is 1 bar and the pressure is 1 bar. So it is nothing but constant pressure heat addition process. This is a constant pressure heat addition process. Now this is a constant pressure line. This is a constant pressure line where P is equals to 1 bar, fine. Now what I do? See, in next step what I do is this. I will place a weight W here. I will place a weight W here. So suppose this is a piston. then there is some atmospheric pressure acting, moreover there is some weight acting on it. So the downward opposite pressure will increase due to the action of weight. So let here the new pressure be 2 bar. And for this increased pressure, what we do? We provide heat to it at constant pressure. And similarly, I will plot this constant pressure line for 2 bar pressure. And it comes out something like this. This is our point 2 dash, this is our point 3 dash. Fine. Now see, what does our point 2 and 2 dash represents? Here we have saturated liquid. See, this is our state 2 and here we have saturated liquid, and similarly 3, 3 dash, these points they represent our saturated vapors. Fine. Now what I do next is that I will join these point 2, 2 dash. Similarly, we will have more pressure lines. Suppose the pressure line of 3 bar pressure will be at higher level here, and pressure line below 1 bar will be lower than this line. Similarly, for all these pressure lines, I will join saturated liquid points and saturated vapor points. So let us join it. And we obtain a figure like this. Fine. Now see, at point 2, the left to the point 2 is your liquid state, and at point 2 what happens? When we provide heat, the liquid is getting converted into vapors. So here we obtain liquid plus vapor within this region. And at point 3 what is happening? Entire liquid has got converted into its vapor state. So beyond point 3 we will obtain vapors. Fine. So this region is known as superheated region, and this region is known as wet region. Why it is known as wet region? Because here liquid and vapor states coexist simultaneously. Fine. And this region is known as your subcooled region. This region is known as subcooled region. And this temperature 100 degrees Celsius, it is the temperature at pressure 1 bar where there is phase change. Now see, phase change has started at point 2, and corresponding to point 2 the temperature is your 100 degrees Celsius. So this temperature becomes your T saturation. So saturation temperature can be defined as the temperature at which phase change takes place, and this saturation temperature is defined only for a given pressure. When we change the pressure, the saturation temperature will also change. Fine. Now see, point 2, point 2 dash, these are your saturated liquid points, and this line joining different saturated liquid points, that is known as your saturated liquid line. Fine. And see, point 3, 3 dash are your saturated vapor points, and the line joining point 3, 3 dash, it is known as your saturated vapor line. This is known as your saturated vapor line. And this curve is known as your vapor dome, and here there is latent heat interaction. Here there is latent heat interaction. Now see, this is our saturated liquid line, this is our saturated vapor line, and they meet at a common point, and this point is known as your critical point. This point is known as your critical point. Now what is the significance of this critical point? Now see what is happening. When we have pressures higher than the critical pressure, what will happen? The liquid state will directly convert into vapor state without undergoing a wet region. Again repeating, above this critical point, what is happening? The liquid state is getting converted into vapor state without absorbing any latent heat of vaporization. So this is known as your critical point. Fine. Now the next topic in this chapter is temperature versus entropy diagram. Fine. And it is also known as your T versus S diagram. Fine. Now we will understand it with an example. Suppose we have ice at minus 20 degrees Celsius. At minus 20 degrees Celsius, its phase will be obviously your solid. Fine. Now if I give heat to it, what will happen? Its temperature will increase. Suppose its temperature has increased to 0 degrees Celsius. Now further giving heat to it at 0 degrees Celsius, it will lead to phase change. It will lead to your phase change. Now we will obtain liquid water at 0 degrees Celsius from solid ice at 0 degrees Celsius, and in this case it will absorb latent heat of melting. Fine. Now further heating, now we have obtained state 3. Now further heating liquid at 0 degrees Celsius will lead to increase in temperature up to 100 degrees Celsius. Now further giving heat to it, what will happen? Again there will be phase change from liquid to vapor. So this is again a phase change process. This is again a phase change process, and the latent heat involved here is that of latent heat of vaporization. Here the latent heat involved is latent heat of vaporization. Now further heating it, what will happen? The vapors at 100 degrees Celsius will increase its temperature to 200 degrees Celsius, and these vapors are known as your superheated vapors. Fine. Now see, our point 1 is that of solid ice at minus 20 degrees Celsius. Fine. Now what we have done is we are providing heat to it, so it is getting converted into solid at 0 degrees Celsius. When I provide heat to it, what will happen? The temperature will increase, moreover the entropy will also increase. So we will plot a line something like this. This point comes out to be point 2. Now further I give heat to it, what will happen? There will be a phase change. There will be a phase change, and phase change process is a constant temperature process, and the state 3 will be that of liquid at 0 degrees Celsius. So this is our point 3. Now further heating to it, what will happen? We will come to our state 4, that is liquid at 100 degree Celsius. So what will happen? Its temperature will increase. So this is our state 4. This is our state 4. Now further giving heat to it, what will happen? There will be phase change and we will obtain state 5, and state 5 is that of vapors at 100 degree Celsius. Now further heating to it, what will happen? We will obtain 0.6, that I vapors at 200 degree Celsius. So this is our 0.5 and this is our 0.6. Fine. Similarly, this is a constant pressure line. When we vary the pressure, we will have different constant pressure lines on temperature entropy diagram. Let another constant pressure line be something like this. Fine. This point comes out to be 2 dash, this point 3 dash, this point 4 dash and 5 dash. Now what I do, I will join all these points. See, 2 comma 2 dash represents saturated solid. Fine. And 3 comma 3 dash represents saturated liquid points. Fine. See, now see, at point 2 we have solid at 0 degree Celsius and before point 2 there is everywhere solid. So here this is the solid region, and see the process 2 to 3, it is a phase change process from solid to liquid. So between point 2 and 3 we will obtain solid plus liquid. Now see, point 3, liquid at 0 degree Celsius. After this 0 degree Celsius temperature, what will be there? There will be liquid. So this region is liquid, and again this becomes our vapor dome. This is your liquid plus vapor, which is wet region. Fine. And beyond wet region is only vapors, that I super heated region. Fine. Now see, I will draw a line here. And like this. So beyond this line there is solid. Now this line, corresponding to this line, the temperature is your triple point temperature. Now what is the specialty of this triple point temperature? When temperatures are below this triple point, there will be direct conversion of solid into vapors. Beyond this critical point, beyond this triple point, first solid was getting converted into liquid, then liquid was getting converted into vapors. But beyond this triple point line, what is happening? Solid is directly converting into vapor phase while missing the liquid state, and this line is your nothing but sublimation line. What is sublimation process? Sublimation process is a phase change process where solid is getting converted into vapors directly. Fine. Now see, this line is nothing but your saturated solid line. This line is nothing but your saturated liquid line. Fine. Again, when we join 4 dash point, again this line is known as your saturated liquid line, and this line is known as your saturated vapor line. Now see, what is the specialty of saturated lines? See, this is a saturated solid line. That means left to it there will be entire solid. That's why it is known as saturated solid line. And this line is nothing but your saturated liquid line, because one part away for this saturated liquid line, right to this saturated liquid line is everywhere liquid. There is neither vapor form, neither there is solid form. Now see, again this we have turned saturated liquid line. See, this is the line joining 4 dash point. Now beyond this point, left to these points 4 dash, there is nothing but your liquid region. So again this line is termed as saturated liquid line. Now the point arises, what is the difference between this saturated line and this saturated line? Now see, left to this saturated line is solid. So this saturated line is with respect to solidification. Fine. And see this saturated line, right to this saturated line, see here it is vapors. So this saturated line is with respect to vaporization. Fine. Now see, here we have obtained liquid plus vapor region, and below this triple point, this is our triple point line. This is our triple point line, below which solid is getting converted into vapors directly. Fine. So here we have solid plus vapor. Here we have solid plus vapor. So how can we define this triple point line? See, triple point is the point. It is the state of the system where your liquid, vapor and solids coexist simultaneously in equilibrium. So triple point is the point where all three phases of matter can exist in equilibrium, that are solid, liquid and vapors. Solid plus liquid plus vapors, they exist in equilibrium. This is nothing but your triple point line. Now see, temperature at triple point is 0.01 degrees Celsius, whereas pressure at triple point is 611.2 Pascal, and this condition is for water, and you must learn these values. Fine. Now see the specialty of triple point. See, this triple point will exist at temperature 0.01 degrees Celsius and pressure at 611.2 Pascal. That means triple point cannot exist at temperature other than 0.01 degrees Celsius. Similarly, triple point cannot exist at pressure other than 611.2 Pascals. Fine. Now see, this is our x-axis, this is our y-axis. Now consider 2D system. Let this be a point. It can move in x direction it can move in y direction. Similarly, let this body is in xy plane, this body can rotate in xy plane. So this point can rotate in xy plane or along the z axis. Fine. So a body in 2D plane have 3 degree of freedoms. That means it can move in x direction, it can move in y direction, and it can rotate in xy plane. But see here, triple point does not have the liberty to vary with temperature. Similarly, the triple point does not have the liberty to vary with pressure, and therefore triple point is a fixed point. So here we can say it has 0 degree of freedom. That means triple point will obviously occur at 0.01 degree Celsius and 611 Pascal. It cannot occur at temperatures other than this temperature and other than this pressure. So it does not have liberty to vary with temperature and pressure. So we can say that it is restricted to a one point. So its degree of freedom is 0. Its degree of freedom is 0, and this is very important concept. Next part in the chapter pure substances is that of Mollier diagram. Now see, we have twin TdS equations. What are the twin TdS equations? TdS is equals to du plus Pdv. This is our first equation, and second one is TdS is equals to dH minus Vdp. This is our second twin TdS equation. Fine. Now see, Mollier diagram is a plot between enthalpy and entropy. Mollier diagram is a plot between enthalpy and entropy. So here we deal with this equation. Fine. Now if pressure is constant, then TdS is equals to dH minus Vdp. This term will become 0. So what we obtain is that TdS is equals to dH, that I dH by ds at constant pressure. See, what we have done here is that we have taken pressure as constant. So we are finding dH by ds at constant pressure process becomes equal to temperature. Fine. And this is nothing but the slope of HS curve for constant pressure process. Fine. Now we will plot Mollier diagram. This is your enthalpy axis, this is your entropy axis. Fine. Before plotting Mollier diagram, let us first plot our TS diagram. Fine. Now a constant pressure line on TS diagram is shown something like this. When we go on heating, its temperature will increase, its entropy will increase. This is point 1 and this is point 2. Point 2 is that of saturated liquid. Fine. Now at point 2, if we further add heat, what will happen? There will be phase change. So here liquid gets converted into vapors, and point 3 there is 100% vapors. So point 3 is nothing but your saturated vapors. and beyond point 3, if we go on increasing the heat supplied, what will happen? The temperature as well as the entropy will increase. So such a line is a constant pressure line. Fine. And the temperature at which phase change takes place is known as saturation temperature. This is called your saturation temperature. Fine. Now we need to plot HS curve. Fine. Let this be our vapor dome, and the region enclosed in the vapor dome is that of wet region. Fine. Now here I need to plot the HS curve. Fine. See, in wet region what is happening? In wet region what is happening? We have constant temperature conditions. That means the slope of HS curve, the slope of HS curve would be constant. So we will obtain a straight line like this. Suppose this is from A to B. Fine. And here the slope dH by ds at constant pressure will be equal to T saturation, this one, because in wet region the temperature is T saturation. Now see, as we move away from 3 to 4, what is happening? The temperature is increasing. So the slope of this line would increase. Fine. Let this be point C, let this be point D. So dH by ds at point D is greater than at point C. Fine. So in wet region we obtain a straight line, whereas in superheated region the slope of constant pressure line goes on increasing. So this is nothing but your constant pressure line, and this is referred as your Mollier diagram. Fine. Now see, gases are classified into your perfect gases, the second one is your real gases, and the third one is your ideal gases. Fine. Now see, suppose this is a container and it contains air. There will be some air molecules, there will be some gaseous molecules, and this will have some finite volume. These molecules do have some finite volume. Fine. And moreover, there is some intermolecular force of attraction. There is some intermolecular force of attraction between different air molecules. So this is nothing but your intermolecular force of attraction between different molecules. Now what do I mean by perfect gases? See, in case of perfect gases, what is happening? First of all, the volume of molecules are negligible. That means when we consider a perfect gas, what we say is that the volume occupied, the volume occupied by the air molecules or the gas molecules are negligibly small as compared to the total volume of system. Fine. And moreover, what we study in perfect gases, the perfect gases are those gases where intermolecular force of attraction is negligible. Fine. These are the two conditions that makes a gas a perfect gas. And obviously, concept of perfect gas and ideal gas, it is a hypothetical concept. Fine. Now, what are real gases? See, in real gases, we do not neglect the volume of molecules, neither we neglect the intermolecular force of attraction. Fine. So, molecule volume is considered. Moreover, we also consider intermolecular forces. Fine. Now, what are your ideal gases? What are your ideal gases? Now, see, ideal gases are nothing but your perfect gases with an additional constraint that specific heat at constant pressure, comma, specific heat at constant volume are a function of temperature alone. That means Cp and Cv, the specific heats will vary only with temperature, not any other variable. Fine. Now, see, PV is equals to mRT. This is known as our ideal gas equation. So, this equation will be used when we will be neglecting our volume of molecules. Moreover, we will be neglecting intermolecular forces of attraction. And the third thing is that specific heats are function of temperature alone. Fine. Now, see, what is the real gas equation? Real gas equation is P plus A upon V square into V minus B is equals to mRT. Now, see, this component A by V square, that takes into account intermolecular forces, whereas this component B takes into account volume of molecules. Fine.